All right, Reggie, we have some more questions to go over and new topics to speak on, but before we get into that, is there anything that you would like to address?
Yeah, what up, Bomb First family? Hope y'all having a good, successful weeks and stuff. Hope y'all been appreciating the latest comments or content that Bomb First been putting up with Swoop G and our girl Lachelle. I think that's the last time we talked to you, the new people that done been on the channel, other than Reggie Wright here and there. Uh, First thing I want to talk about and touch on is to our people over in the UK. I know a lot of y'all over there in the UK, and I know we got. I think John told me last time we checked about 8 to 10% of the people that follow the channel regularly are from the UK. So shout out and respect to you guys. Know y'all in mourning because of the Queen, and y'all should be. I guess y'all got a 10-day mourning period, and so probably about 5 or 6 days into y'all mourning period. So just our condolences from Bomb First, and to you guys over there in the UK that's into that. 9/11 was yesterday, and today is actually 9/11 here, but the day that this episode probably appear would be today, which would be the 12th. And shout out to, not shout out, but just respect and continued prayers for those whose families were a victim in the 9/11 tragedy that happened 21 years ago. Then most importantly, my wife's favorite R&B singer. It's also the 20th year around the time that my girl Aaliyah passed away in that plane accident, tragic accident. So shout out to Aaliyah and her family. Oh yeah, and lastly, don't forget, we're still promoting and got up on the website. Know we had a few issues. You know, the t-shirt that Pac was wearing, the Death Row East t-shirts. We still got them available. Y'all can go on the website. It'll be pinned up at the bottom of the comment section of the video. And purchase the Death Row East t-shirts. For those of y'all that's concerned about Snoop Dogg pocket so much and wondering how he's taking, well, number one, he don't own Death Row East. He don't even own that label. I mean that symbol. He put his with a dog on it. But more importantly, give y'all some little bit of information. Eric B actually owned the naming rights and the merchandising rights to Death Row Records. But y'all gonna be getting some more information on that because there's gonna be a lot of miscommunication going on about the Death Row East and Death Row Records. Y'all gonna be real confused in the upcoming months. But I'm letting too much out of the bag right now as usual. So yeah, remember, this is the original Death Row Records right here. Not the replica bus that y'all be seeing getting given away like fucking candy. But anyway, man can do what he want. Cause I still think it's a great marketing strategy on his part. But that's about it. You know, I spoke on Aaliyah a little bit, so we'll get right into our episodes and touch on the topic for today. Topic for today is I'll teach y'all about inducement letters. Try to explain to y'all about how an artist could be signed to a independent or smaller record label, and then they eventually become to that distributor or to that or to that major label. As y'all know, when Uptown Records went belly up, and then Jodeci and Mary J and all of them became MCA Records, or Universal later on. Matter of fact, I got a little bit of audio that I just mentioned that I just remembered that I have when me and Suge was talking recently, where he explained a little bit. And so y'all listen to what Suge had to say, and then I'll come back to it and try to break it down to some of y'all that obviously comprehension is not that well. I hope it's that 10% from the UK that be making all these crazy statements. I hope it ain't the United States educational system that have you guys and your comprehension to be so low. But I got a feeling it's you motherfuckers from the USA that didn't go to school. But anyway, my boy Suge Knight, educate these brothers.
They didn't change those numbers until I got involved in those numbers. And I was the first one to tell people about you can own your masters and own it. I didn't even know what that was. And one of the things that's real crazy is that anytime a person, say you take the majors, if you take Universal, you take Sony, you take Warner Brothers, these people cannot go out and find the talent and make the talent. But what they can do is fuck the people out their talent once they throw them up. Like if you look at the Rough Riders, they are good friends of mine. I helped them get their deal for DMX and those other guys, right? But the Rough Riders had DMX, Eve, Jadakiss, and basically the Locks, right? And a producer. In the end, Universal took DMX from them, took Jadakiss from them, Eve from them, right? And left them with nothing but a name. Devontae had started Genuine, Timberland, and Missy. When I first met them, they wasn't the producers and artists they are today. They didn't even know how to do anything. Devontae personally made them be the best. Once he made them to be the best, what happens? They took it from him.
So y'all heard what Mr. Knight had to say and how he tried to break it down to y'all on what we call inducement letters. And how artists sometimes get sucked in and become signed directly to the majors when they were originally on a smaller label. Another example of one was Master P with Snoop. How y'all know he put out like 3 albums with P. The friction started over there. And then the last remaining albums he did, you'll see it was just strictly Priority Records and not No Limit anywhere on there. But yeah, I hope y'all comprehend that. Y'all can put in some other examples with Rockefeller and how they broke away, and some went straight to Def Jam. There's a lot of examples out there of how that situation broke down. And so just wanted to give y'all some more pieces of Suge Knight. We're going to do some more later on in the episode, so stay tuned for some conversations from Suge. But I'm trying to get away from the bullshit a little bit and try to educate y'all a little bit. Bullshit gonna still be here, because that's just me. But, because yeah, nigga that lives, baby boy, that lives at home with your mama, I've been observing your views and see that you can't even average 8,000 to 10,000 anymore. You had a couple of that went 20,000, okay. But you don't even average 8,000. Carcinio, just sitting and walking and talking niggas is tired of your shit. So you feel you gotta tap at Reggie Wright and bomb first so you can get your views up, because that worked a little bit for the groupie. Carcinio, go walk around your mama house, because you know that's why you baby boy, because you still live with your mama, even though you try to say you don't. Nigga, you know I know. And when I say something, I speak facts, mama boy. But when you're walking around mama house, doing your videos, getting your 5,000 to 7,000 views, because niggas tired of you. When you got over 200,000 subscribers, Y'all just don't know how crazy that is because niggas caught on to your ass because they know you ain't never been around death row. You took one picture with Suge in 2005 or something like that at a boxing event. You're starting to sound like you're the groupie. Being like the groupie, where you like the, because you got one picture with Suge, now you can speak on death row. Nigga, you don't know nobody from death row. Who gonna talk to you? Who gonna talk to you? You got information from somebody from death row. Who that could tell you about Reggie Wright other than Outlaws? Ain't one of them that told you something about me and Tupac relationship? None of the motherfucking security guards, the only two that talk bad about Reggie Wright, one put a fucking gun in his mouth and blew his brains out, and the other one took and popped pills, and his little midget girlfriend thought she was gonna get some money from him and gave him pills, and he OD'd on prescription pills and stuff. So who told you that? Who talking about I'm a groupie? Motherfucker, if I was a groupie, wouldn't there be a lot more pictures of me out there with those motherfuckers? Any pictures that you see me with Reggie or Snoop, which John will post up right now, because there are pictures, because you said there wasn't, but here's some pictures for you. But Reggie was just caught in the background. Reggie didn't believe in taking pictures with anybody. Do you see any pictures with Reggie and Shug standing next to each other? No, because Reggie ain't a motherfucking groupie. I hate a groupie more than I hate a fucking rat, to be honest. A nigga that jock on another man is a fucking groupie to me. Is a bitch. All right. I just broke my vow already, huh? I said no negativity in this episode. Can't help myself. But nigga, stay in your lane. Stay over there and talking to the little kids that like to be talked to. Because if you want to start, you need some views, you want to get tapped at, okay. I'll dig into you. I'll dig. I'll help you get your channel back popping. Bomb first. See y'all tomorrow.
Okay. Warren G went on Mike Tyson's podcast and told a story about, which Big C Style told the story on our channel a couple of years ago, but an incident that happened with him at Can-Am where his chain was taken. Did you see that interview?
Yeah, I saw that. You know Warren G? I find it funny that Warren G is starting to talk. He was quiet as a church mouse prior to Suge being on the streets, but now he's starting to talk a lot and do interviews, which is cool. I really believe that this is 2022. That's the way to go, to set the record straight. Because I know he got, people that are older and you want to set the record straight. We ain't got that much left. We're on the other side of the mountain now for living. And so the only thing we got is history. Warren G kept it real, y'all. He kept it real in that interview. Hopefully John can play what Warren G said.
Anybody block you from seeing Pop? From talking to him?
Let me see.
Talking the way you talking now, I know they want you to
Yeah,
say
yeah. I
this,
didn't get a chance to talk to him. All that other stuff had happened, but we didn't get a chance to link up. After he got out, I seen him one time when he got out. We was in the House of Blues, and he hugged me like Warren. We was hugging for a little bit, and then he hit me a few days after that, and he was telling me like, let's get in the studio. I'm gonna book some time. But a certain situation had happened right before that to where I was like, you know what, I'm not getting ready to be. I'm not gonna go out and I ain't just getting ready to step out there because I was at the studio before. He didn't even know nothing about what happened, pretty much. But I went to the studio. Snoop was there, Daz Corp, everybody there. So some, Suge homies came. I was like, Warren, can I holler at you? So I was like, all right, I'll be in there. So I'm still chilling. So they come out again like, Warren, can Suge want to holler at you? So I'm like, shit, all right, I'm coming. Came again, Suge came in like, Warren, let me holler at you, man. Come on. And I was like, shit, I said to myself, let me see what the fuck this nigga want. So I got up and then I came and I went into the room they call the red room.
Wow.
And when I came in the room, another cat, I ain't gonna say his name, he came out a door and he came to me and was like, Blood, you told these bitches you was gonna kill me. Like saying, I'm like, I knew it was bullshit when the motherfucker said something about some bitches saying that I was
Yeah.
trying to get at you. So I knew I didn't know why they was tripping, but they was tripping. So I'm like, nah, you know I ain't getting ready to get out. I don't get down like that. So they talking, whatever. So him and Suge started talking. So he came back like, Blood, you tried to, man, he snatched my chain. So I'm like, God damn. I had a Glock on me too.
Oh my God.
And I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to pull that motherfucker out and just start busting, but I had to think because it was a bunch of dudes right here outside of the door, a bunch of police that was working at the same time, around that time, and so I was in a fucked up situation. So I had to think. So one of my homeboys, which is C-Style, he came through the door and he was like, "What's going on? Why y'all tripping with Warren?" So while he was talking to them, like, well, it was a door right here. So I opened the door. I walked through the door in the kitchen, and I seen two cats I knew that was sitting right there. So I walked past. I looked at them like, nigga, these niggas tripping. So I get to the hallway. As soon as I got to the hallway, I'm walking fast. The motherfucker, right before I got to the door, that nigga came running. Get that nigga, Blood.
Nah.
And
What?
I swear to God. So I took out, boom. I got out. I got to my car. I had a big ass truck on big knobbies back then. So I got in my car and I backed up and I said, nigga, fuck y'all. Woo, and I pulled off that motherfucker. And I told my uncle, Ron G, I told Ron what happened. So Ron called in there and he told them, if my nephew shit don't come out that motherfucker in 15 minutes, I'm gonna blow that motherfucker up.
Wow.
And he's a Navy SEAL. So he was serious. So Snoop had called me like, Warren, come get your chain. I'm like, hell no, keep it, hold it for me. And then I took off. And the crazy thing about that was just, I didn't know that Dre had left.
Oh my gosh.
Blindside.
So this was the whole, you know, so it's like, oh, that's that nigga brother.
Shit.
So I'm like, damn, I thought about it. I was like, these niggas probably would have killed me if they had the chance to.
Wow.
You know? And it was fucked up. And like a lot of people was claiming like, oh, I got Warren chain back. Didn't none of these motherfuckers get my chain back. C-Style. I'm not gonna lie, he was the one who caused the divergence for me to get up out of there. And when I got out of there, I got to my car, I was like,
All right. Now, y'all hero, y'all dude, who I kind of like. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't never had no problems with him. He was always on Sherm when he was around, but most of those niggas was Sherm heads back then. So that's how they got the courage to do stuff. They wasn't with it just on sight. You know? They had to go and smoke something to do something. Not me. Any of the incidents y'all heard about me, it was like, what, nigga? Gun come out. But that's another story. That's all been all my life. I only was a police for 11 years. I still had to walk this earth another 40-something years. 45 to be exact. You heard what he said? It was somebody else, John, that spoke on that incident. I think my boy Big C Style spoke on it on our live stream. And we'll talk about that and show that. But yeah, Warren kept it real. That's how those niggas was around there. They was running. They wasn't posting up and all that. Anything that Big C Style or Trey did and had with Suge because he respected them as men, because he liked them. It wasn't because nobody was fearful of anything like that. No. I mean, there's tough dudes on both sides, every side. Y'all heard Swoop G speak on Reese Cup. I tell you all the time, Big C Style, Joe Cool, Trey D was with it from the Long Beach dudes. There's some other ones, but those are the ones I seen and knew about and that y'all know about. But there's Flossie and Reese Cup and all of them, even Fabian. I had Gun played with Fabian a few times, but Fabian was still with it. He the one, our masculine friend. Swoop G didn't want to say name, but that's who shot Swoop G. Everybody know it. Niggas know it out here. It was Big Fay. He probably out of the feds now, and he was in there when I was in there. You know, we send messages to each other. I heard he was trying to find out where I was at. As soon as I heard that, I was like, nigga, you at TI, nigga. I'm at Atwater, nigga. Niggas come from TI every day here. Send one of those niggas at me. But nah, I ain't never heard nothing. But anyway, but Fave, yeah. I tried to tell y'all why. If y'all don't know why, y'all thinking Swoop G scared of COVID. Is why he been wearing the mask on this interview. Nah, I'm scared to death of fucking COVID. Look at me, I'm fucked up behind this shit. So I am scared of COVID. COVID's real for all you little youngsters that don't think it is. I tell you, now I can understand your hesitance of the vaccine. I still take the good outweighs the bad in it, and so I believe in it. But I can understand. I done heard some stories of motherfuckers getting worse than me, you know, from talking to the therapists, from taking the shots. Some people actually losing their people from taking the shots, but that's a small percentage. I laid next to 3 or maybe 4 people that was talking to me, and the next day the mortuary was picking their bodies up when I was in rehabilitation facility. My point is, so I heard more stories of people dying than people getting messed up from the vaccination. Another story, ain't here, talk about politics, religion, and now health. Even though y'all do need to consider, you know, taking care of yourselves and being healthy. But that ain't what this platform is about, so I ain't gonna take y'all there. But yeah, I don't forgot what the hell I was talking about. Oh. So anyway, I was saying that to say I tried to tell y'all before about people in your families that use that powerful substance, germ, crystal, or cocaine. What did I tell you about the tea? All right. Just like you had to apologize to the Realist and you said you my homie for saying that tuck your chain bullshit, I damn near fell out my chair when I heard it. I hope you understand why I had to put that out about you, Swoop. Facts are facts. Let me educate you on something though. When it's wartime and going to fight, I always told niggas, any street nigga, any real nigga you know will tell you, tuck that chain. That's when y'all was trying to make fun of Whack 100, talking about he got beat up by all those 60s and all that. I said, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because that nigga went straight on IG. And that nigga had a $50,000 diamond chain still wrapped around his neck. Because any nigga that's a gangster, that's what they going for. While the homies are whooping on you, they snatching your chain. So Realist did the right thing, if that's what he did. I'm not saying he did or didn't do it. But if he did tuck his chain like Swoop said, then he was supposed to do that. That showed that he had a little bit more street smarts than most niggas did. So, yeah. So Realist, shout out to you, Realist. You know, you still my nigga and you John nigga. Swoop, same to you. Appreciate the interview, bro. Spider Low. I can't confirm or deny what Spider Loc is saying. I have never caught Spider Loc in a lie. So G on the other end, he was on that shit. back then. So maybe he just didn't remember Spider Low. That's all the commentary I'm gonna do on those interviews. I'll take it what y'all want. Y'all just give Reggie to say shit for y'all to think. Because as Reggie say, I can really give a fuck what you believe about Reggie. I'm just trying to hear to make you go, think about it.
Did you see in that Warren G interview, he said that he was right about to bail out Tupac, and then he got beat to the punch by Suge, and that he was going to bail out Tupac, not sign him or do anything with him, but just to get him out, and then if he needed him for a song here or there, use him there. Did you see that part of it?
I heard that. Anybody can say it. I bet you Yo-Yo or all the people that said they were calling around soliciting money, bet you he ain't called none of them back or try to give them anything. Only person that I know that put money on the books when Keisha called was Suge Knight. But everybody's saying that bullshit now. Jay Prince, this. Y'all forget the whole key. The whole key to Tupac getting bailed out wasn't just the money factor though. It wasn't just the money factor. You needed the attorney to go and push that. That's what Suge was so successful at, because he made it happen because of his contacts, his attorney team that he had. That's why Madonna couldn't have did it. She probably could have, but they didn't have the know-how. Suge Knight had the know-how for that situation to make it happen. But anybody can sit back and say, they was gonna do this and gonna do that. I don't believe it. I shot the sheriff, ain't made that nigga no $1.5 million. Come on, y'all. That nigga was unrecouped after that. Def Jam didn't fuck with him no more after that sheriff's album. He couldn't go and perform Regulator for $1.5 million. We was only, not we, they were only getting $5,000, $10,000 a show. They wasn't selling out arenas and stuff like they do now. They didn't, no motherfucking white man wasn't letting you in the arenas, this rap shit. They wasn't letting rap concerts in the arenas back in 95, 96. You had to go into small clubs and get 5, 10, 15,000 at the most. That was a lot of shows for $1.5 million. Def Jam sure in the hell didn't get a nigga $1.5 million. That nigga house that he bought in Lakewood wasn't $1.5 million that he ended up losing, that his homeboy wouldn't help him save. Tired of niggas capping for fame. Stop it, y'all. Stop it, you. Man.
Okay. Did you see the Instagram tirade that Daz went on saying that he's a death row killer again and he's not back at death row and he's gonna leak out the songs they recorded, all that stuff?
That's Daz. Told y'all that's an emotional bitch. Daz more emotional than that woman that's next in the room next to me that bleeds once a month. That's Daz. Daz gotta bleed. Gotta bleed once a month. He'll be back. He'll be back. Daz just emotional like that. He gets like that. He's like that with everybody. Daz left Death Row, seen his cousin get beat up, and then came back after that. Was running. Got arrested. I wouldn't go to the niggas to come to whoop on me, make me run to the police, and then come back to them. That's Daz. Snoop's used to that. He laughs at him. That's why I want to give him $500. No, I think it's more than that now. Maybe $1,500 a show now. Because he knows Daz. He knows Daz needs him. Daz to be back. That's all that. I'm this, I'm that. I got a compound. That's all cap, man. And in Atlanta, you can do that. Come and live like that in California, nigga. But out there in those southern areas, you can do that. That's just how, you know. But you got other issues out there that you got to deal with that you don't have out here in California. Y'all out there, I'm watching football game on there right now in Frisco or Chicago. The motherfuckers playing in the rain. I'm up here sweating with my AC on. It's 75 degrees and, with the AC on right now. They out there playing in the rain. Those are the type of issues that you have. And so that's why your property and your value is a lot cheaper than our property and our value out here. But that's Daz. That's Daz. But that ain't Snoop's issue, y'all. Breaking fucking news hot off the press. Guess who he's trying to break away from and he's fighting with, y'all? Michael Harriot. Ask either one of those niggas how that relationship is. See if you see them in public with each other. That's who got the issue. Michael Harriot and Snoop Dogg now fighting over power. I had somebody tell me, Red, man, when we went in the Harriot studio, do you know that nigga got Death Row Plats all over the studio talking about the founder and the creator and all of that. Bet you that nigga ain't got no Tupac plaques. Oh, Reggie, you ain't got that? Okay, you'll see. I'm almost good enough to get in my office. Then y'all go in there and y'all see. Matter of fact, John, we got a surprise coming for you too. But yeah, we'll wait on that. That'll be on our next episodes. We'll show y'all that coming up. I told y'all we tape episodes every 2 weeks. Not once a day like some of you idiots think I wear the same motherfucking clothes every day. Change and sit in the spot for 10 minutes every day. No, you motherfuckers, we do this shit twice a month. I know not all of y'all like that. Just some of y'all.
Can you talk about how, or if you know actually, how David Kenner and Shug originally got together, like how they started a business relationship?
Yeah, that's the one part that the Harriot do tell the truth, that the story that's out there that is correct. He was originally, David Kenner was originally Harriot's attorney. And Shug, somehow they reached out and linked up together. And because Harriot was doing things, he was doing a play called Checkmate. He had Denzel Washington and Earl Jones and the old man with the deep voice. Okay, no, I'm saying his name wrong because it don't sound right.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, he had all of them in this play that was real popular. I went and watched it called Checkmates or Checkmakers, something like that. I think it was Checkmates. And so Harriet was out here doing big things. He, Lil J hates that he says it. He tried to say he has some affiliation with Ghetto Records or Ghetto Boys. Mm-hmm. So, and so he had some connections, but if you ever been through a criminal case, man, the government, number one, whatever they don't get, and you able to hide or give to somebody else that they don't get, you use that for the attorneys, keep them happy, paying them off. And so David Kenner, I swear, I heard this conversation between Shug and David Kenner on several occasions, where David Kenner kept telling Shug he was exhausted all his funds during the trial. Going fighting the case, which ain't no shame. Shit, that's solid gold. The mafia, Tony Soprano and all of them and the TV shows teach you already have the money sitting in the lawyer's office, but most dudes don't do that. But what Harriet still had, though, was his name and his word. And he was able to reach out to people that knew that had some money hidden, that wanted to clean their money and make their money right. And he did that. That's why I always say, the fight between Harriet and Shug is their beef. It's nobody else's business or concern or know-how. Because I don't care if I didn't put up a penny. If I said, hey, I'm gonna get John to do this or do that, then I did that. I mean, we did that together. Right. If it happened. I won't get this person to get this or make this happen or get you this, then I'm a part of whatever we agree upon. What they agreed upon, I don't know. I sure in the hell know that Suge eventually got sued by 3 other people. Dick Griffey, Doc, and Dre didn't sue him, but you know, so that means Suge had 5 different but then we also hear stories out there about Fern Hill Records. That's this guy that had a bunch of old white Jew men that had a bunch of money that he used to give Suge when it was Fern Hill. We also hear the Vanilla Ice story with Chocolate. You know, Chocolate said, you know, some money, but not as much as people think. Yeah, you know, he got 10 or 20% or whatever he got. So there was money coming in, I'm sure. And Suge does give one other guy credit, the guy that Keefe D always talking about. Credit from a dude from Compton. And for giving some money. Suge do give him a little credit. I think about $500,000 worth of credit. But other than that, Harry just was a connector. Who were the other guys that connected? I don't know. I just always heard about this one guy because when his wife got out of jail, she got hired at Death Row, and she was working up there. So, and that's the only reason I know about that situation. And they're not married anymore. They since got divorced. But yeah, he met him through Harry O somehow. Okay. How they met and got introduced. Because because he was pushing a GF Entertainment, Godfather Entertainment, but that ain't what Death Row was called. That ain't what hit Death Row. Death Row was hit because of the relationship of Dick Griffey and Interscope and the money that they got to make that happen. But to take credit other than being an investor, nigga, you ain't made not one decision on an album coming out, marketing an album or anything. Well, he got pictures of Suge and them together. Yeah. They were meeting up there going over deals. Shit, before, when I'm around in 94, I know shit was bad. David Kenner was fucking Harry O's woman. And, he was having me ride in the car with him because he was scared he was going to get kidnapped coming from the prison. Because now they know where he's at. Because they had attempted to kidnap him before up at Interscope, at the Murdoch Plaza office, where niggas had David walking them down the elevator. And thank God, I know for David's sake, me, Suge, and I think Buntry or one of the other homies was getting on the elevator. And they left. They left David Kenner on the elevator. David Kenner was like, oh, thank God. Thank y'all. Y'all just saved my life. We're like, what are you talking about? But the elevator broke. Yeah. Not even knowing the niggas was kidnapping his ass. But they left him once they seen us. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway. Telling your stories behind this shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Today is the anniversary of Tupac passing. It would have been 26 years today. Can we speak about, I know we've all gone over the shooting and we've all gone over the hospital and all that stuff, but can you talk to me about the week that Tupac was in the hospital, some of the discussions and some of the meetings that were happening in Vegas, as far as like if he survives or if he doesn't survive, or just what was the atmosphere out there while he's in the hospital?
Yeah. That week was one of the worst weeks of my life. Even worse when the feds came knocking on my door. Might have been tied with that. And kicked my shit in and took all my cars and all my little money and shit. Seizing my house and stuff. And more importantly, going after my parents' cars and houses and stuff, which we eventually got back. But that was a bad week. People always talking about, you was involved, yeah, well, fuck y'all. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. But worst days of my life. But yeah, I was still up there trying to make stuff happen. Now, got Pac laying in there fighting for his life. So I just assigned 2 security. So when people talking about they seen all security walking around, all that, it was only 2 security working around there. Any other ones was Kevin Ackey ass floating around because I wasn't fucking with him because he was supposed to have been there and he didn't let me know that he was there. Frank, nobody wanted to see him. Everybody was told to keep that motherfucker away from us. And then me, and then the 2 security that was assigned, they were working, I think, 12-hour shifts, 12 on, and then another 12 around the clock. So organizing that, plus now at home, you're hearing about shit going down, niggas getting shot, niggas shooting up niggas. So you're hearing about all that bullshit. My father and my Compton cops telling me, Reg, get away from that shit. Leave. Time to go. Fuck Death Row, Suge Knight, and all that. I'm like, oh, no, I ain't going nowhere. Well, we coming up there to get you. You coming home. No, I ain't going nowhere. So everybody concerned. Everybody worried. You can tell shit was going bad. Now I'm, coordinating with Suge attorneys, taking him down to meet with the detectives, which he pretty much told them, I ain't seen shit. I didn't understand that then, but I understand it now. That's how that G code and how niggas think. Ain't seen nothing, don't know nothing. Whatever. Keep wanting to harp to you motherfuckers that it wasn't until that incident happened that Vegas PD started investigating that MGM incident. I know y'all don't understand that, too deep for a lot of y'all, but y'all need to let that seep in because Vegas PD didn't care about that stuff until that shooting happened. Now, once that shooting happened, then yeah, it was major. It was news coverage and all of that. I heard a few of y'all tapping at Lachelle in her interview where she said she was in the club at 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night when the DJ announced that Pac had died. And we all know he died at 4 o'clock in the daytime. Y'all got to understand. I know it's hard for y'all to understand. But, man, we got 11 o'clock p.m. news, 5 or 6 o'clock news, and maybe a.m., early morning news. And they was mainly talk shows and stuff like that. Good Morning America, talking about drinking coffee and shit like that. Stuff that was going on in the day. You didn't get news cycles like we get now, all on YouTube, all on all these different cable stations and all of that. So word of Tupac, and plus, Tupac was big to a lot of us. But he wasn't as big as we make him out to be in the way stuff would travel, word would travel in 95. MTV News would break it and probably was doing stuff. But everybody didn't watch MTV News all day and every day. And they would only break it when Kurt was there or somebody like that was there, and doing breaking news. So I get it that word probably didn't get back about Tupac death until about 5 to 6 hours later because y'all living in a different time than we lived in 95. We didn't have all of this form of communication, the news information like y'all do. So y'all lay off her in the comments about that because that's just how it was, unfortunately. How news traveled by word of mouth. And it took 5 to 6 hours for word of mouth to get out. Because everybody wasn't watching the news back then. Only the old folks. But yeah, only forms of communication was the newspapers, magazines, and those different hours that, 1 hour, probably 3 hours a day of news cycles. One in the 90s. But yeah, it was a rough day, man. I'm telling you, the worst times of my life. But you know what? You know what we about to do? We about to see how this motherfucker feeling on this day, on the 13th of September 2022 versus what the punk motherfucker was doing September the 13th, 1996. So let's call him and see if he answers me.
Okay.
Hello.
Keefy, what's up?
What's up?
Man, I was just calling this September the 13th. I was just calling to see how you feeling today.
And who is this?
Nigga, this is Reg. How you doing today, man? Want to see when you gonna come on ball first?
Look, you need to dig up. Oh, excuse me.
So, anyway, we tried to call Keefy. Yeah, I see you didn't want to talk to me. But hey, if y'all want to call the brother and ask him how he doing today, since it's the 13th, 26 years ago, call the nigga. 951-339-11. Call him. Ask him. They Reg told him to call in this act. How you doing today? How you feeling today, nigga? 26 years ago, knowing what you did. Being a part of that. I asked him. I'm sure most of y'all call him, hey, we love you, Keefy. Damn. All of that bullshit, but if y'all real Pac fans or real writers or real niggas, ask that nigga, how you feeling, man? I just want to know how you feeling about that, getting away with that. Have you prayed to God and asked God to forgive you for that? But yeah, that's all I got to say on that subject.
Okay. Can we talk about the original artwork that was going to be on the back of the Makaveli album that was like Biggie as the pig and then Puffy as ballerina? I think you guys had the painting like in the office or something.
Yeah. Y'all got to remember, this was really going to be a mixtape, where that's why they had Simon as the executive producer, Pac as Makaveli, and stuff like that. It was really just going to be a mixtape that was going to be put out, just thrown out to the streets, because it was really letting, Snoop album was about to come out, The Dogfather. Nobody then knew it was going to be as boo-boo as it was. But I always laugh. But if you look at the back of that artwork, this is what kills the groupie theory. Or the fucking security guard, Frank. Which I always say, Reggie, you security guard too? Yeah. No, I hired security, motherfuckers. I was a business owner that owned a security company that hired guys to do security work. But what was on the back of that album, y'all? Approved by Tupac Shakur. When Risky did it and Hen Dog and that art department did that, and Tupac approved this. Makaveli Records. If y'all look and blow it up real good, oh, he was leaving and he was going to start up Makaveli Records on his own. Go take that to QD, Quincy Jones and all of that. He approved for Makaveli Records and Death Row Records on the back as the labels. So tired of hearing motherfuckers saying Tupac was leaving Death Row and all of that. They were working on a new deal to extend the deal with Shug and Tupac, Makaveli Records being distributed by Death Row Records, Doggy Style being distributed by Death Row Records, Hammer Time being distributed by Death Row Records, and Death Row East being distributed by Death Row Records. A lot of y'all ask me all the time, what happened to the One Nation album? I don't fucking know. John, maybe you could tell me. I don't even know the songs. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't in the security stuff at that time. I don't know if that ended up being absorbed as Tupac songs or as other people's songs that eventually came out on Death Row, that eventually came out on posthumous albums. I don't know if that was absorbed in there. Don't know about the One Nation album stuff. But what I do know, did you see all of those songs that was on there? We didn't put them all out. We only put out 12 songs on Makaveli. When Tupac was alive, he was talking about putting out 18 or 19 songs. I believe that was on the back of that album for the mock-up that was done. But I just want to show y'all that this was done prior to the original version that y'all got that's on the streets. And look at the labels that was on the back while Pac was alive.
Even on the retail one, it had the Makaveli logo.
It was on the one
it was
12.
on the disc.
Well, I know the songs on the one that you about to show.
Yeah.
That one had different song titles.
Yeah.
That didn't make Makaveli.
Right.
On
Correct.
there.
Correct. No.
There's something for y'all to think about while y'all listening to motherfuckers that just over there running their mouths, just talking. Don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's a motherfucking groupie. He worse than, I'll call y'all bloggers or researchers. I don't call y'all fans or some people call it YouTube subscribers and stuff like that. I call y'all family, most of y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. But all you other motherfuckers just listening to that dude, he's worse. He's a groupie. Tell y'all, he's a motherfucking groupie. A nigga that just run around taking pictures with anybody that, hey, can I take a picture with you? Can I take a picture with you? I'll show you the one time I felt like a groupie. And I told my daddy just yesterday, that was a groupie move you did. You acting like this groupie. Put up these pictures, John. Y'all see those pictures? I felt like a groupie that day, taking a picture with Ice-T. My dad sent me a picture with him and LeVar Ball. I told him he was a groupie, taking a picture with that dude. But what LeVar Ball trying to tell y'all, that's why I mainly wanted to talk about this subject. Is that the peace sign that nigga throwing up? God damn. Woo. Don't know. I ain't saying. But y'all see that sign LeVar throwing up? All right. Peace bomb first.
Okay. Last one I have is, can you talk about, and this is more if you realized it in your time or if it was more relevant during the Row era, but at what point did you start to realize that Suge was being blackballed, and that, even if it was when he was in jail, or was it more when he came home, that there were a lot of people behind the scenes working to make sure he wasn't able to get back in the position that he was in before?
Yeah. Wasn't so much Suge being blackballed. It was the East Coast, West Coast. East Coast was controlled by BET, MTV. The box was pretty much done and gone. A lot of y'all don't know about the box. But they'll tell y'all in the comment section about the box. But then that fizzled out. The magazines was the Source, the Vibe. The West Coast had Murder Dog, Double XL, of course the Rolling Stones and all of them. That all was based on the East Coast. The PDs, the West Coast PDs they were playing a lot of the South music more, but they didn't play a lot of the West Coast artists. Y'all tell me, Truth Hurt. Think of that song. That song was big. Y'all didn't hear it on the East Coast. How many of y'all could tell me that y'all ever heard a song done by not High C, God forbid, not High C, Sugar Free? How many of y'all could tell me y'all knew who Sugar Free was? That's not on the West Coast. A lot of y'all from Atlanta and the South, all y'all gonna tell me, yeah, because the South always supported West Coast music, radio stations and West Coast. But East Coast didn't. So my point was, East Coast radio PDs and Angie Martinez, Punk Flex, all of them, Wendy Williams, Charlamagne, all of them, Smiley. Maybe not Ricky Smiley, he probably was cool, I don't know. Because he was more of a South radio guy. But they were hating on Death Row and West Coast music. Not just Death Row, anybody. DJ Quik, anybody from the West Coast. And so that's what really happened to why we fell off. Where the fear of Suge Knight come knocking on their door would make them go ahead and play it. Or just throwing it out there. Suge gonna come up here if y'all don't do it. So the Stephen Hill and all of them would go ahead and support it and throw the bone. But when you know Suge is gone and dead, or not dead, but in jail, might as well be dead in some people's mind, you ain't gotta worry about that. You thought you didn't. So that's why y'all be like, damn, Reggie, you was a confused cat. All these stories we hear about you. Like I said, you can't believe all the stories you hear. But some do have a little credence to it. I have knocked on some people's doors, have been over to different record companies and told radio programmers, if you didn't play this or do this, this was gonna happen to you. Had executives followed home, you know, be like, hey, we can't get our checks from Death Row. Death Row said they ain't got our money because y'all won't cut them their check. We don't want no problems, but we just want you, what? That's one thing a white executive don't want you to do is know where they live. Jimmy Iovine paid me $500,000 to hold up putting his house, his address on that red box, y'all call it, the Death Row Uncut. He said, fuck Dre and Snoop, you can leave theirs in there, but Reggie, take mine out. Here's $500,000. This is what you think you're gonna lose that week. Redo it. This is what it costs to redo it. Okay. Come on, don't put my house out there. That's their biggest fear. And so I'm saying that to say not to boost or try to sound tough and all that, because I was 28, 30 years old. Stupid, young, didn't know no better. Young, dumb, and full of calm back then. Now I would probably, not do that. Nah, that ain't true. But I know better. Back then, I ain't know better. Didn't know. I was like, yeah, this is how you do it. But that's why we come off as haters. That's why we told the source, yeah, how y'all gonna think y'all gonna come out here and do a show and ain't not one person from the West Coast nominated for an award or present no award. But y'all wanna come out here because it's hot and got the sun and y'all gonna present it. Present awards here, but y'all don't want nobody from the West Coast up here on the stage. Y'all just got dudes from the South and the East Coast. What you want? I want punk ass Daz and Corrupt to present an award. Okay. But stuff like that did happen. But that's why, because we feel like we was getting disrespected by the magazines, the people that ran the videos, and the radio. And so all the events where y'all hear like, damn, y'all was some big old haters back then. No, it wasn't that we were trying to hate or be haters. We were just trying to get, in our words, our respect. And so my teaching came from Suge Knight. That's what Suge knew. So that's how he felt he had to handle stuff. Go to the source, take some homies up there and be disruptive. And they get your attention. Or they're going to take it and move it to Miami, which they did eventually. They took the Source Awards and started doing it in Miami. But they ain't going to do it out here if they're not going to respect us, give us no shine, give us no representation. How dare they? So that's what it was all about. Snoop and Dre. He said, well, y'all was just hating them and hating them. Y'all forget the shit that they did. Y'all really do. Snoop was big old cell, sitting in cell, telling tales. Only reason you ain't got, because I ain't sent the word for you to get got. Dre, no deal, no cheese. You women start calling me. A lesson is, especially you ugly bitch Tammy. We heard all that shit. So that's why we retaliated as we did with that. Y'all didn't know what was going on. Y'all didn't hear the diss. Y'all didn't know what the hell they were talking about. But we did.
Like they were doing more subliminal.
And so they were doing the subliminals and stuff. And so that's why we had to be like, hey, nigga, y'all forget? We the one that gave y'all the protection. Now you gonna disrespect the protection? That's what people say. Snoop and Suge didn't. I was providing them a sense of protection. I ain't talking about beat up protection, but I be the front guy, the guy to go and talk to law enforcement. Or a lot of shit didn't happen to them because of Reggie, especially from Compton niggas. And so to say Reggie or y'all haters and being this, it was just all about trying to get the respect and to show niggas that, hey, when we had learned that Snoop wasn't happy no more with P, we was like, okay, get a nigga $1 million and see if he want to come back. He never responded. Next thing we know, we were getting more diss songs. So it wasn't that we were just being stupid and haters. We were just trying to get our respect. And being a 28, 30-year-old guy, back then in the 90s, that's how we felt. You got your respect. You didn't have the terrorist laws and the terrorist threats and all of that on the books yet. You could go and scare people and talk shit. You just couldn't call them on the phone. And it was just a misdemeanor then to call you on the phone and threaten you. And so that's what was going on. That's why if we feel like we were bullies or haters, that's just how we felt. It was the appropriate way to deal with it at the time, to keep the legacy alive, because that's how it had worked for him in the early 90s.
I remember reading the magazine and I was trying to research it last night and I couldn't find it. So I'll ask people if they know which article or which magazine this was in, if they can leave it in the comments. But I do remember reading an interview with Dre and Snoop, and they said, we would like to go work with Death Row because we helped build that label. You know, we would like to help them. And I always thought to myself, Suge should just do it, to use them, to get back to where they want to be.
And we would have.
Yeah.
Jimmy Iovine once told me, Reggie, could you imagine how big you would be, or it could be, if you brought Suge and Dre back together and shook hands and be like bygones is bygones? I said, could you imagine how big that would be? He said, you about the only person that could do that. And unfortunately, Suge had a woman in his ear. And when you got a female in your ear, said, no, bad decision. Because of whatever reason she had. She told me, she said, Reggie, you can't make him feel like I can make you feel. And she was right. Because they did have family visits. They had conjugal visits. And so I had to acquiesce to that. Because I sure can't make your nigga feel good. I wasn't sitting at the table. I remember we used to walk in the visitor room and that nigga had the stare face on there. Yeah, the chick sat next to him over there. Some days, boy.
So do you feel like if Miss Chalet wasn't involved, so I guess the question I'm trying to get at, was Dre open to it and Jimmy Iovine was saying, can you get Suge on board?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure if I would have went to and say I got Suge willing,
Yeah.
Jimmy would have had what. Jimmy to this day can get Dre to do, which shit. If I was Dre,
Yeah. You make me a billionaire?
he's almost a billionaire, if not one.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be.
Yeah.
Got enough money for his lifetime. People always say though, oh, Reggie, you and Suge, it's haters and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hate, man. My bills are getting paid. I'm not going out buying and doing all of that. But not many people call, other than my grandkids, call to ask me for anything. But they get what they want. But I got a relationship with all three of my kids. Snoop and Dre can't say that. So y'all knock that out when y'all say y'all haters and y'all this and y'all that. 'Cause I talk to my three kids daily. And that's all that should be more important. And when y'all get older, y'all understand that relationship with your kids and your parents, if you still fortunate enough for them to be alive and have somebody in your corner that love you, it's more important than wealth, y'all. Y'all learn anything from Reggie Wright. Learn that. So, all that, y'all jealous because of this. No, I'm jealous if my kids ain't talking to me and you have a relationship with your kids. But Snoop got 3 kids that I know that he don't communicate with. Dre, y'all know that. Anyway, he got kids that he don't communicate with.
Okay.
So I'm a happy man. Y'all stop with that Reggie hate on Dre and Snoop. Because I don't envy men that don't have a relationship with their kids.